Hare Krishna. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Very, very, very warm welcome. Very, very warm welcome. A very, very warm welcome to all the wonderful devotees. International Society for Krishna Consciousness welcomes once again all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam seminar. 18 days, 18 chapters, 18 sessions, 8th chapter, 8th day, 8th session, which is entitled as Tarka Brahma Yoga, and we call it as Art of Dying. Srila Prabhupada, November 14th, 1977, in Vrindavan, was gathered uh, with an assembly of devotees who were chanting, and Prabhupada was just giving more and more translation for Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, and as the chanting was going on and on and on, somewhere around 7 p.m. in the evening, Srila Prabhupada, in the assembly of the devotees, chanting the holy name, he finished his pastime in this mortal body, in this material world, and joined the eternal pastimes of the Lord. So that is the success of life. Like Bhishma Pitama, at the end of his life, was waiting for Krishna to come, and Krishna's devotees to come. And he, on the auspicious day, he puts an end to his mortal body and material world and joins the eternal pastimes. That was Bhishma Sasti. So that is the success of life. The chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita is entitled as Art of Dying. 7th chapter B, as mentioned, was Art of Living. So here, with this small introduction, we'll go ahead with the preview. For better understanding and easy assimilation of the subject matter, the session will be taken in the following manner. Arjuna will be presenting 8 questions because it is chapter 8, and 5 questions in slok number 1 and 3 questions in slok number 2. Totally, there will be 8 questions because this is chapter number 8. And Krishna will answer the questions in slok number 5, 3, 4, and 5 onwards. He will be teaching the art of dying and remembering the Lord. That is such phase number 3 and phase number 4. How by pure bhakti we can remember the Lord, and the art of dying, and those who are dying in this material world, the materialistic people, for them, what is death? For the karmi, what is death? For the jnani, what is death? For the tyagi, what is death? That's why that all we will be seeing in this material world. And for a devotee, he just has to remember Krishna and make his life successful. We'll have conclusion and question of the session. Let us dive into the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled as Tarka Brahma Yoga. It's very interesting. Arjuna Vacha Kim tad Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adi Bhutam Cha Kim Proktam Adi Devam Cha Uchyate. So there are 5 questions in this sloka number 1, and there will be 3. Total, there will be 8 questions because this is chapter number 8. Kim Tad Brahma, what is consciousness? What is Adhyatma? What is spiritual life? And what is karma, activities by the body? And what is Adibhuta? What are the different material uh, material elements in this world, and Adi Devam, who is the origin of all the demigods. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions in this. Oh my Lord, oh Supreme Person, what is Brahma? What is self? What are 40 activities? And what is the material manifestation? And what are demigods? All these are here to bring us close to success of our life. That is, remember God while we are living this body. Living uh, life is preparation and death is examination. So all these 5 factors plus 3 more factors will be here. 2 more factors is there to help us remember Krishna at the time of death. Adidhyagya katam ko atra dehe asmin madhusudana prayena kale cha katam Neyo asi nitya atma bhi. What is who is the Lord of sacrifice? Where does he live? So totally 7 questions, and all this put together is to help us how we can be engaged in devotional service at the time of death. So in this way, Krishna understood, wow, Arjuna is asking 8 questions in 2 slokas. I will answer 7 questions in 2 slokas. And the important fact of all the 7 things is to bring the living entity close to remembering of Krishna. That is the most important thing. So that is will be explained in the whole chapter. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Again, Vyas Muni says Sri Bhagavan Vacha. That means beautiful, important person is speaking. That means there is something important and beautiful for us. That means we should be alert. We should keep our waist tight and the backbone, the neck, and the head straight, erect, and the eyes open, ears open, and keep our stop doing anything we are doing, stop hearing whatever we are hearing, stop speaking whatever we are hearing, and stop thinking whatever we are thinking, and focus one pointer on what Krishna had to say. Sri Bhagavan watches something beautiful and important is going to be spoken. We should catch every word. What to speak of word, every letter is important. Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhava Adhyatmam Uchyate Bhutabha Udbhava Karo Visarga Karma Sanjnati Sannita that which never die, that is Shar Brahma Paramam. The Supreme Person of God, that which is indestructible, that is living entity, that is called the soul, is called Brahma. And the consciousness is called as Adhyatma, the self. And the action pertaining to the development of the material body is called karma. So 3 questions answered. And Adibhutam Sharobhava Purusha Adi Deva Atvam Adi Yagya Aham Evatra Dehe Deha Britambara. The whole material nature, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adi Bhuta. And the universal form of the Lord, where the sun and the moon is the eyes, is called as Adi Deva, that is the Virat Rupa. And the super soul, which is in the heart, is called Adi Yagya. Super soul is called Adi Yagya and is in the region of the heart. So in this way, 7 questions are answered, and and the most important question is every all the 7 thing is here to help us one remember Krishna at the time of death. So whatever we do in the lifetime is will be remembered during death. So if we practice Krishna conscious in our lifetime, we will remember Krishna during our death time. So how can one remember Krishna at the time of death is the 8th and the most important question. So this chapter is numbered 8 and there are questions which are 8 in number. Antakale chamamevam smaranmakva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nasti atra samsaya. whether one is a devotee or a non-devotee, everybody has to come to end of life. But for a devotee, he remembers Krishna at the time of the death. Antakalicha mamevam sparanmakva kalivaram. As soon as he remembers Krishna, he will be liberated from the clutches of material nature. Antakalicha mamevam smaranmakva kalivaram yad. So in this way, yaprayati samadbhavam yati nasti yatra samsaya. And after giving up this material body, this material world, he will go to the spiritual world with a spiritual body. Of that, there is no doubt. This is success of life. We say that life is examination, life is preparation, and death is examination. So we find that everybody is living, but the life of Bhishma Pitama, the life of Prabhupada, the life of the Acharyas, they are preparation. Students prepare for the exams. And I remember when I was in 12th standard, a boy, he was a rich father's spoiled son. He was watching movies the whole term. And when the exam paper came, I saw he wrote a film song. And while I was answering to the question, because the whole semester he was watching films. Obviously, when the question paper comes, he wrote the film song. I also met students who are prepared to, who thoroughly prepare their subject matter. Before the teacher teaches the subject in the class, they are thorough with the subject matter. One day before in the, they get all the preparation. And the day of examination, believe it or not, the day before the examination, they were playing. They have no kind of anxiety or fear or tension. Whereas for me, I use the method called as LMR, which is last minute revision. And when the examination there, the previous evening, I will be studying hard for the next examination. Whereas these boys, they were playing. And believe it or not, 6:30 in the morning, I'm going to the school. He is just opening his book and walking, and he's just brushing through the subject matter. And he gets 99.5 out of 100, whereas I'm getting 34.5. And he's worried, oh, where did this 0.5 go? So that kind of preparation, if one has, is ready for the examination. So the difference between the material school examination and the examination of life is that the syllabus is known, the date of examination, time of examination, and place of examination is known. The question is not known, the answer is known. Whereas in the examination of life, the question paper is also there, the answer paper is also there. Only thing, we don't know where is the center, place of examination, and what is the day of examination and time of examination. That means we should be so thorough that anytime, any place, anywhere the examination happens, we should say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and leave the body. That should be the preparation. In the history of the universe, creation, there is only one personality who knew when was his examination date and where was his examination center, and that is Parikshit Maharaj. And what kind of preparation he had done. 7 days, 7 nights, he was preparing for the examination. If that is the preparation for a person who knows what time and what place will be the examination, so what to speak of those of us who don't know when is our examination? We should be more thoroughly prepared. Bhishma Pitama, he chose his center and he chose his time and place of examination, and he made his life successful. Srila Prabhupada made his life successful. We are here to make our life successful, and it is possible. Antakale chamam evam smaran mukva kalevaram. If we remember Krishna, whatever we do throughout the lifetime, that is what which will come at the end of our life. Life is a preparation. And at the last few minutes of our life, whatever we did in the life comes in front of our eyes in the screen of our mind. So if our life, every day we are chanting coming from Mangalarti, that is what will come. And we are chanting, that is what will come. And what we remember, what we do is what will we remember at the end of the life, and our life will be successful. The principle is, Krishna says, the principle is yam yam vapi smaran bhavam taje ante kalibaram tam tam eva iti kauntaya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever we do the whole lifetime will come as a in the screen of the mind as remembrance at the time of death. And whatever we remember at the time of death, that is that kind of body we will receive. That is that kind of a body we will receive in the next lifetime. So devotees are trained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by saying that na na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamane mama janmani janmaneshware bhavtara bhaktir ahetuki. I don't want wealth. I don't want name. I don't want fame. I don't want profit. I won't want worship, and I don't want any kind of adoration. What I want is Krishna, you. And for that, we have to prepare. We have to do yajna. Yajna means pleasing Krishna. That is purification of the heart. Chetu Darpana Marjan. This is what we have to do. We are doing yajna, that is japa yajna. Japa yajna means purification of, is meant for purifying the mind. The mind is pure, then we receive the divine divine knowledge, that is Bhagavad Gita. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. So once there was a person, he saw that Ajamil at the end of his lifetime remembered Narayan. He could utter the name Narayan because he child's name was Narayan. By saying that, the three Yamdutas who came to catch him, they ran away, and four Vishnu Duta came and gave him an opportunity. So he immediately came back home, and he said he had four sons, Chintu, Mintu, Pintu, and Dinku. He changed their name into Anirudh, Pradimna, Vasudev, and Sankarshan. And he was a big businessman. He had a grocery shop. And when his end came, he started shouting like Ajamil, Narayan, Narayan, Anirudh, Pradimna, Sankarshan, Vasudev. And all of them came, what father, what father, what? And as soon as he came, there was a donkey which was eating the rice in the sack. And he says, you fools, look at this donkey. As soon as he said donkey, immediately the Yamdutas took him back to the Yamloka. So we cannot cheat the demigods, Adi Devas. We cannot cheat the material nature. We cannot cheat the material world. We cannot cheat the material body. The body will make us remember what we did the whole lifetime. So we should be very careful what we do in this lifetime. And another, whatever we do, we think about Krishna, our life is successful. So once there were five sons, and their father was about to leave his body. So they said that, father, remember Bhola. Bhola means Lord Shiva. Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. If we remember a Vaishnava at the end of a lifetime, that life is successful. They were saying, Baba Bola, Baba Bola, Baba se Bola, Baba se Bola, Baba Bola, Baba Bola. And because this old man was having a very casual and a very Western kind of life, and the Baba opened his mouth, Baba Bola. He opened his mouth. The five children were saying, Baba Bola, Baba Bola. And he opened his mouth and he said, Coca-Cola. And he died. So what will happen to such a person who says Coca-Cola at the end of the time? He will be taking birth in a factory of Coca-Cola as a bacteria and in the bottle of Coca-Cola. So we cannot cheat. That's why Kim Tat Brahma, Kim Karma, whatever Kim Adhyatma, Kim Karma, whatever activities we do should be such that we remember Krishna. We remember that we are soul, we are spiritual. Then the Adi Bhut and Adi Dev will help us remember Krishna at the time of death. So we cannot cheat. Our life is here meant to make. We are here to make our life successful, and that is what Krishna expects us in this human form of body. It is said that everybody who takes birth, they come crying. Why we come crying? Because we are in ignorance. Those who are in knowledge, they will always smile. So, so that's why we say in Mangalacharan, Om Ajnana Timirandasya. We are born in the darkness of illusion and ignorance. But our life should be successful. But our life should not be in ignorance and our death should not be in ignorance. Yeah, but people in general, are born in ignorance, they live in ignorance and die in ignorance. When they die, they cry because they see the Yamdutas. So that should not be thing. Our life should be successful. Our life should be from uh, asat to satgama, asatoma satgama, tamasoma jyotirgama, mrityuma amritagama. From ignorance, we should go to knowledge. From temporary to we should go to the permanent. Uh, from material, we go to the spiritual. From death, we should go to nectar, that is uh, immortality. From mortality we should go to mortality. That is success of life. So in this way we should live our life. It is said that people come crying and leave crying and die crying. That is a very big failure. Our life is meant for becoming successful. There's a big saint, his name is Kabira, and he says, Kabira, he says a very good thing. Kabira, जब हम पैदा हुए जब हम पैदा हुए जग हंसे और हम रोए. कबीरा, जब हम पैदा हुए जग हंसे और हम रोए. That means Kabira, when I was born, everybody was laughing and I was crying. Kabira, जब हम पैदा हुए जग हंसे और हम रोए. कबीरा ऐसा करनी कर चले. कबीरा ऐसा करनी कर चले, जग रोए और हम हंसे. For live such a life that when we leave the body, we are smiling and laughing, and people are crying. Jayo Nila Premadana Karuna Prachur. So we should do such activities. It is said that those who come crying and go laughing is uh, is a master of destiny. Those who come crying and laughing is a master of destiny, and those who come crying, live crying, and go crying, they are servant of destiny. Those who come crying and go laughing is called Mukaddar ka Sikandar, and those who come crying and go crying, they are Mukaddar ka Chuchundar. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam taje ante kalabram, because we don't know when is our death coming, when is our final examination. So we should prepare we should be in such a preparation that all time, all place, and all circumstances we remember Krishna. That's why Krishna is emphasizing Tashmat Sabeshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhaya Mam Anushmaram Yuddhacha Mai Arpita Mano Buddhe Mame Vasasya Samsaya Tashmat Sabeshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmaram Yuddhacha Mai Arpita Mano Buddhe Mame Vasasya Samsaya. That's why in all place and all time and all circumstances, we should perform such activities by which we remember Krishna. Mam Anusmaram, the word Anusmaran, Smaran will come in this chapter, because we have to remember Krishna at the time of death. Anusmaran, Smaran means to remember, Anusmaran means to, the word Anu is very important, very significant, has got a lot of importance. Why Anu means as taught by the teachers, bona fide teachers, the bona fide spiritual master and authentic teachers, Anusmaran. We should not remember in a very um, uh, like out of mental speculation. We should remember as taught by the teacher. Anusmaran, my arpita. Krishna emphasizes the mind should be offered to Krishna. The buddhi, intelligence should be offered to Krishna. In the mind, we should think about Krishna's naam, roop, gun, and leela, name, form, quality, and the pastime. And the intelligence should be uh, uh, used to uh, think about Krishna. How should I think better about Krishna? In this, my Arpita, offer the mind to Krishna, because Krishna said in some chapter that Bhumi Apa Anula Vayu Kham Mana Buddhir. This mind belongs to Krishna, the Buddhi belongs to Krishna. So let us offer our mind back to Krishna and intelligence back to Krishna. Our mind will become better and intelligence will also become better. Maam eva sasiyam samsaya. Definitely we will come to Krishna. If we at all time and all place and all circumstances remember Krishna, our life will be successful. This is success of life. So, so how do we go ahead? So we should practice remembering Krishna while we are alive, while the body is stout, strong. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasana gamina parama purusham divyam yati pata anuchintayan. Again, anuchintayan. The word anuchintayan means also remembering, but as taught by the teachers, as taught by the spiritual master, not in a yeah, not in an unbonified way. So he who meditates on me, the Supreme Person of Godhead, and constantly engage in remembering undeviated. As the mind goes again, abhyasa yogena, we should try to bring it back to the Nam Rup Gun Leela of Krishna. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasana anyagamena, not to let the mind go wander anywhere, like the hunter who has caught the prey in the net. He's careful, because it is not that the prey will say, "Oh, oh, so nice, so good. The hunter has caught us in the net. Hari bol, hari bol." No, the mind is caught in the net of sadhana bhakti. So we should be very careful, alert, like the hunter. It is not the mind will say, "Wow, very good. You are doing sadhana bhakti. I will be your servant." No, the mind will try to run away from the clutches of our sadhana. So we should be very, very alert. We should not be, very frivolous, very casual. We should be very, very strict and serious and sincere in remembering about Krishna. That is for devotees. What about uh, Ashtanga yogi who is practicing Krishna yoga, Krishna bhakti? Mishra he is Ashtanga yogi who is trying to remember Krishna. Yogi Mishra Bhakta. What about his death? Okay, so that is also being mentioned. That Ashtanga yogi who is doing is in the forest, he should remember Krishna, who is Shirodaksha Vishnu. Kavim Puranam Anushashitaram Anor Anyam Shan Anusmaredya Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Adhyata Varna Tamasa Parasta. You should remember the Supreme Personality of God as Shirodaksha Vishnu is a Paramatma who knows everything. And he is the oldest. He is the oldest. And he is the controller of everything. Everything is in control. Not even a single blade of grass can move without his permission, or a grain of sand will move without his permission. The super soul is smaller than the smallest and is the maintainer of everything, because he is in every particle, as Shirodaksha Vishnu is in the heart, like Paramatma. He is beyond the material conception, whether we take telescope or microscope, or we put in MRI, or we take what you call X-ray. The super soul will not be seen. He is a person. He is not a robo. He is a person and is effulgent like sun. He is effulgent, luminous like sun. Adyata Varnam. And he is beyond the material nature. He is in the material world, but is beyond the material world. He has got his own space. He is in such a way the Ashtanga Yogi should remember Shirodaksha Vishnu. प्रायेण काले मनसा चलेन भक्त्या युक्त योग बलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणम् आवेश्य सम्यक् सातं परम पुरुषमुपैति. The Ashtanga Yogi is being mentioned from slope from 10 to 13, whereas from 1 to 9 it was a devotee's life. Prayena Kale, and he should keep his waist tight, his back erect, neck and head in one straight line. At the time of the death, he should bring his life hair straight to the chest, then to the neck, then to between the two eyebrows, and then from the 10th small door, it is called the Brahmarandran. He should take the soul along with the life air. That is success of his life. Prayanakala Manasa Chalena. This is for remember what Krishna is saying. This is for the Ashtanga Yogi, not for pure devotee. Pure devotee of Lord like Prabhupada, he is just remembering Nam Rup Gundlila of Krishna and he is chanting. And November 14th, 1977, Vrindavan, around 7 o'clock in the evening, he is finishing his pastime. But this is for Ashtanga Yogi. Just bringing the life hair between the two eyebrows. What kind of yoga is that, Krishna? Is there no other practice? Is there no mantras? Yes. Arjuna, yes. I'm saying that yad aksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yad tayo vitaragah yad ichantu brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pradakshaya. So in this way, the learned personalities, the Panditas, they say that in the Vedas, it is mentioned that when doing this Ashtanga Yoga, one should utter the mantra which is called as Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or any other mantra. So in this way, they remember they practice pure brahmacharya. That is, brahmacharya means, brahmacharya means to think about the Supreme Person of Godhead. Brahma acharaneti brahmacharya. Activity should be so pure in the spiritual realm, not in a material realm. That is called brahmacharya. And by doing that, one can attain salvation. For this is for those who are in the practicing Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga. For pure devotees 1 to 9, now Ashtanga Yogi is being mentioned. Sarvadvarani samyamya manohirdi nirudaya cha murdani adyatmana pranam asito yoga dharanam. And that yogi will be detached from everything, every material activities, every sensual activities, and he is about to leave the body, and he can understand that the life, he understands, and he closes all the nine doors. That means he clutches the rectum and anus, so the life air should not go through that, and he lifts the life air to the chest, and he closes his mouth. The life air should not go through the mouth. He closes his nose, breathing. The life air should not go through breathing, and closes his eyes, clutches his eyes together. The life air should not go through the eyes, and he is controlling and not hearing anything from outside, and he is making sure the life air takes the soul through the Brahmarandran, and he makes his life successful. Top of the head is called Brahma Randran. Murdani Adhyatma Pranam Asito Yoga Dharanam. Murdani, and the top of that it's called Brahmarandam. And that is the success of a Ashtang Yogi. Omiti Aksharam Brahma Vyaharan Mam Anusmaram Ya Prayati Tyaga Deham Sayati Para Mam Gatim. So devotee's life, devotees, death has been mentioned, and Ashtang Yogi's death is also being mentioned. And now we will see what happens to the non-devotees and what happens to Jnani and Karmi. It's all about death, 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 death. Oh Krishna, what exactly happens to such a soul who obtain love for you? Do they take birth? This is again about devotees. No. नान्यचेत सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यस तस्याहं सुलभ पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिना. My devotees, they did not do such austerities like closing the anus and rectum and mouth and nose and everything. For them, they just remember in the wonderful pastimes of the Lord, the wonderful name of the Lord, the wonderful qualities of the Lord. And he smiles and leaves the body in the assembly of the devotees. Na anya cheta satatam yoma smarti nityasa is remembering Krishna as taught by the spiritual master. Tasyaham sulabha, it's very easy for him. Nitya yuktasya yogina, such a yogi is uh, such a yogi is Prabhupada, such a yogi is Bhishma Pitama, and such a yogi is Madhvacharya, such a yogi is Govind Swami Maharaj. You are chanting, speaking the pastime of Jagannath, and on the auspicious day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance at 8 o'clock in Mayapur, he told his disciples, chant Jai Jagannath, and remembering Jagannath. He did not do all that what Ashtanga yogis sulabha very easily. So in this way, he made his life successful. In the assembly of the devotees, chanting is going on. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj on the auspicious Dwadashi, Krishna Paksha Dwadashi, he Vaizak Mas Krishna Paksha Dwadashi, he put an end to his material life and successfully entered into the spiritual life. So it's very simple. They did Sulabha, Tasya Sulabha Partha. Prabhupada says the process of Krishna consciousness is very simple, pure, and easy. Simple, pure, and easy. Simple for the pure, easy for the simple minded, and very pure. In this way, we can make our life successful. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkalyam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanam samsiddhim paramam gatim. And those who make their life successful is called Mahatma. See, the word Mahatma has been again mentioned in the 8th chapter and in the 9th chapter and in the 7th chapter. 3 times Krishna mentions Mahatma. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkalyam ashashvatam the napnuvanti. These Mahatma who makes their life successful will not come back to this material world which is full of misery. Dukh alayam. Alayam means a place of, like Bhojan alayam is a place of food. Um, it's a go down. Like Bhojan alaya is a go down of food. Vastra alayam is it's a place where we get vastra, clothes. And Grantha alayam is a place where we get Grantha, books. And Dukkalayam means it's a place where we get misery. And everything ashashvatam, whatever we have is ashashvatam, it is not permanent. So Dukkalayam ashashvatam, these Mahatmas, Napnuvanti, they will not get this Dukkalayam ashashvatam material world. Mam upetiya punarjanmam, they will get Krishna's spiritual world, and they will not get punarjanma in this material world. Such Mahatma will get the ultimate abode, samsiddhim parama gatihi, ultimate perfection. That is Mahatma. In the previous sloka, previous chapter, Krishna said, who is Mahatma? Mahatma, he said that after Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvan Mam Prapatante Vasudev Sarvamati Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. That is, after many, many lifetimes, the Mahatma, a living entity will get Gyanis, after many lifetimes, one becomes a Gyani and he becomes a Mahatma. Vasudev Sarvamati. Many lifetimes he gets that a body of a Jnani. So that is birth, and this is death. And in the ninth chapter, Mahatma, it will be mentioned, Devim Prakrita Ashrita. Birth is mentioned, death is mentioned, is Mam Upetya Punarjanma Dukhalem Ashwasam. What about his life? That life is mentioned of Mahatma is mentioned in ninth chapter. After attaining the great souls who are yogis, yogis will never return to the temporary world which is full of misery. Who will come to this material world? They are Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravritino Arjuna Mamupetya tu Kontaya Punarjanma Navidyate. Who will come to this material world? Why should one come to this material which is painful? From the highest planet in this material world to the lowest planet, Narka, Brahma Loka to Narka Loka, everywhere there is misery, and then the cycle of repeated birth, death, old age goes on and on and on. And one who attains the Krishna's abode will never ever come back to this material world. It is said that in Hindi, it says that Doodh ka jala chance bhi foon foon pe pita hai. One who burns his tongue by drinking a hot cup of milk, when he takes buttermilk, he will first, blow the wind, make the buttermilk also cool, because he has got a bad experience. So Mahatma, everybody knows that he got such a bad experience in the material world. He will not ever dare come to the spiritual world. Not tat pashati surya na sasanka na pauka yad gatva na nivartante tat dhama parmama. So Mahatma will not come. His life is successful. Yoga Mishra's life is successful. Then what about the non-devotees? Non-devotees will uh, will will be in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Haryad Brahmano Vido Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Te Ahoratra Vido Jana. So Brahma's one day is being mentioned, 12 hours being mentioned, and Brahma's 12 hours, which is night, is also being mentioned. When Brahma's 12-hour day comes, all of them will get body according to the karma, and Brahma's night comes, all of them will be put under slumber. They go back to Shiradaksha Vishnu, and again Brahma's night gets over. Again, according to karma, they will get lifetime. So how long is Brahma's 12 hours? It is said that the Kal Yuga is 4,32,000 years, and twice is Dwapar Yuga, thrice is Treta Yuga, four times is Satyuga, and together it is 43 lakhs 20,000. So 43 lakh 20,000 is one cycle. So 1,000 such cycles into 1,000 is 12 hours of Brahma, that is day. And so is the night of Brahma. So one day and one night, 12 hours and 12 hours day and 12 hours night of Brahma is explained in this chapter. In the next chapter, 100 years of Brahma will be mentioned in the ninth chapter. So for 12 hours, they will be getting different bodies. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatari sayanam, iha sansare bahudistare kripya pahe parimurad. They will be suffering from one material body to another material body. And when Brahma is having, when Brahma is going to sleep, every living entity till Swarga Loka will be submerged in Garbhodakshaya water, and they will be having all of these living entities will be with the womb of Shirodaksha Vishnu and wait for the next next creation when Brahma wakes up. Avyaktad Vyakta Sarva Pravanti Ahar Agame Ratri Agame Pralyante Tatra Eva Vyakta Sanjnake. So at the beginning of the day, again the living entities manifest according to the karma. They will get different body. Coronavirus, snake, tree, human being, animals, birds. Okay, according to the karma they will get, and they will get a place either in earth, heaven, according to the karma. Talatal, Patal, Raspatal. And again, when Brahma's 12 hours come, again they will be they become unmanifested. So in this way, the cycle goes on for non-devotees. Their death is unsuccessful, so they have to repeat. They have to repeat. They have to repeat like a failure. They will not pass the school. They have to repeat. They have to repeat. They have to repeat. Bhutagramam sa evayam bhuta bhuta pralayate ratri agame avasa partha prabhavati ahar agame. Again and again, these non-devotees, Brahma's day arrives, the living entities get a body and a place to stay, and when Brahma's night comes, again the annihilation comes, and the body is becomes unmanifested, and this goes on and on. So Parastasmat tu bhavanyo vyakta vyakta sanatana yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashati. But for my pure devotee who has passed the examination, they leave the school, they leave the hospital, they leave this jail because their stay in the jail was successful, their stay in the hospital treatment was successful, their study in the school was successful, and they go to the spiritual world. Parastasmat tu bhavanya vyakta vyakta sanatana. They go to a place where there is no more misery, there is no more death, there is no more disease, and that place is blissful, full of joy and joyful. Material world will be annihilated, but this spiritual world will never ever get annihilated. They go to a place of bliss. Avyakta akshara iti uktas tam ahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante taddhama paramam mama yad gatva na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. Again, yam prapya na nivartante taddhama paramam mama. So they come to a place एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो बस प्यार प्यार पले. There is a place full of love, joy and happiness which is ever increasing. Such a place one will get, and such a place is infallible, and such a place that is the supreme abode. Purusha para partha bhaktya lavyata ananyaya yashyanta stani bhutani ena sarvani idam tatam. In this way, the devotee of the Lord who makes his life successful, he attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the greatest personality, just by practicing Bhakti Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. And he is in the same abode where the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, seeing the Lord smiling and serving the Lord, and by serving him, the devotee is getting a lot of pleasure, and seeing the devotee very happy, the Lord becomes more happy. And seeing Lord becoming more happy, devotee becomes more happy. And seeing the devotee become more happy, the Lord becomes more happy. And this goes on. Ananda Ambudhi Vardhanam. Oh Krishna, life of a non-devotee I can understand, and a life of a devotee I can understand. Death also I could understand of a non-devotee, and a death of a devotee is successful I could understand. What about a yogi and a jnani? You said Tashmad Yogi Bhava Arjuna. You did not say Tashmad Karmi Bhava Arjuna. You did not say Tashmad Jnani Bhava Arjuna. You did not say Tashmad Tapasvi Bhava Arjuna. So what about Jnani and Karma? Will they make their life successful? Okay, let us understand this also, Arjuna. Yatra kale tav anavritim avritim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharata rishabh. Oh, greatest of Bharata, Arjuna, I will explain what happens to the Karmi and Jnani. They have to be very careful when they leave their body. How careful they have to be? Oh, I will tell you now. Agnir Jyotir Ahasukla Sanmasan Uttarayana Uttarayana Tatra Prayati Gachanti Brahma Vido Jana. They should leave the body, okay, in the daytime, and that too when the moon is increasing from no moon to full moon, Amavas to Purnima, and Sun Masa, and that too from January 14th to June 14th. That is called Uttarayan. At that time, if they leave the body, that life is success. They will go back home, back to Godhead. And if not, then what happens? Dhumo Ratrishtata Krishna Sanmasan Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandra Masam Jyotir Yogi Prapya Nivartate. If he leaves the body in the night, and that too, or if he leaves the body when the moon is decreasing from Purnima to Amavas, or if he is leaving the body when it's June 14th to January 14th, he will go to the moon planet. He will stay for some time, and again he will come to this material world, place of birth, death, old age, and disease. So he has to be careful not to leave the body in the night, not to leave the body when the moon is decreasing, not to fortnight when the moon is decreasing in its size, and not to leave the body when it is June 14th to January 14th. In short, Arjuna, Sukla Krishna Gati hi ete gatah sasvate mate ekaya yati anavritam anyaya vartate punaha. According to the Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing this world for yogi and karmi. That is Jnani and karmi. One in light, one in darkness. When they when they leave the body in light, they will go back home, back to Godhead. If they leave the body in darkness, they will come back, will be in this material world. But my dear Arjuna, for the devotees, they did not worry about moon is increasing, moon is decreasing with the day or the night. Uh, they did not worry about Uttarayan and Dakshinayan. They just chant and they just be happy in the assembly of devotees. Neti Sriti Partha Janan Yogi Munyate Kachana Tashmat Sabeshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukta Baba Arjuna. My devotees, Tashmat Sabeshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmaram Yudacha. They do not worry about all these things because they are always remembering Krishna's name, form, and qualities and pastimes, Nam Rup Gun Lila, and that's why their life is successful. Vedeshu yagyatu tapashu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam ateti tatsarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upeti cha adayam. That's why whatever we do, whatever we do, it should help us become a very good Nishkam Karma Yogi, Bhakti Yogi, or Buddhi Yogi. Whether we read Vedas, whether we do yajna, whether we do tapasya, whether we do donation, whether we do pious activities, whatever we do, it should help us to become a bhakti yogi. And by becoming a bhakti yogi, our life will be successful. In other words, whatever benefit one gets by reading Vedas, by doing big yajnas, by doing lot of austerity, by giving lot of donation, by doing all these pious activities, is achieved by just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That's why the process of Bhakti Yoga is very simple. Prabhupada made the hippies to happies, Rusis to rishis, Chinese to munis, and Japanese to Japan. And like Bhishma Pitama made his life successful, so devotee Prabhupada made his life successful. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj made his life successful. Gaur Govind Goswami Maharaj made his life successful. We can see how other ordinary devotees practicing Krishna consciousness also made their life successful. In Mira Road, there was a devotee who was a congregation, and he was a diamond merchant, and he retired from his professional job and was doing service in the temple, and was doing Annadan Mahadan, collecting funds for food for life. Annadan Mahadan, he was saying Annadan Mahadan. It was somewhere 10 o'clock in the morning, and he opened his table and he's saying Annadan Mahadan, Annadan Mahadan. And by saying Annadan Mahadan, he left his body. What a successful life he had. That was in the temple premises. And he said Annadan Mahadan while doing service for the Lord, like Bhishma Pitama. Another devotee was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, doing Nagar Sankirtan for Gaur Purnima. While doing Nagar Sankirtan, Gaur Purnima, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, while saying Hari Bol on the road, while everybody was chanting Hari Bol, he left his body, went to Bhaktivedanta Hospital, he was declared dead. What a successful life he had in the Hashimali. So in this way, devotees of the Lord are also getting, are just by practicing Krishna consciousness, making their life successful. What to speak of devotees who are initiated in our temple? We had a driver called as Tiwari. He was from UP, very tall, 6 foot 3 inches or 4 inches, and very broad also. He had one quality that he will be a driver, but driver in ISKCON temple Juhu or ISKCON temple Mira Road, or but he will not leave devotees association. But he had a bad quality also. He used to take something which is not to be taken, which is called as tobacco. And he used to chew. So we used to sometimes kick him from this temple. He used to go to that temple. Again, he used to come to, believe it or not, one day I came to know while he was paying obeisance to Radha Rasbihari in Juhu, Gornitai during Rajbhog Aarti, then to Radha Rasbihari, then to Radha Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman. He paid obeisances. Then he did not get up. Then he did not get up. It was 1 o'clock. The temple has to be clean. And the housekeeping staff came. They were lifting him, told him to get up, but he was not getting him. They tried to lift him. They found that he has Yadgatwana Nivartante Tadham Parmamam. Antakale Chamamam Soran Murta Kaluram Yaprati Samadbam Yati Nasti. So he at the Samsaya, he went back to the just he was not initiated, but just devotees are chanting 12:30, Rajbhog Aarti going on in front of Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Paid obeisances. Another devotee, he is like a Sindhi or a Marwadi. So he was coming to our temple for all the programs. Believe it or not, he went to Chandigarh for some reason, and on a special day, he knew that he is about to leave his body. So he came to Chandigarh temple. He came in front of the altar. I paid obeisances, and he came near Prabhupada, and he just caught hold of Prabhupada's lotus feet, and he left his body, and his life is successful. What to speak? As a Vaishnavi, very aged, uh, and she used to come to our temple and every evening perform Tulsi Aarti. And while doing that, gradually after a few years, her body became big. While leaving the body, devotees were chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 1 or 2 weeks. And on a very auspicious day in the morning, while devotees were chanting, she finished her pastime. Mortal body, material world, and entered into Krishna's eternal pastimes. So this process is very simple and very easy. So in this chapter, art of dying has been mentioned. Life is examination, life is preparation, and death is examination. So let us prepare. Krishna says, Tashmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. In this examination, the time and the place is not known. Question paper is out, answer paper is out. But the time and day and the place of examination is not known. So we should prepare in such a way that all time, all place, and all circumstances, we remember Krishna and we are ready with the answer and make our life successful. So this process is very simple and easy. So now that we understand the art of dying, let us take this process seriously. From now till we leave this body, we should remember Krishna, make our life success. May remember Krishna, and at the time of death, remember Krishna and make our life successful and bring glories to Prabhupada and our spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande.